Hi, this is Alex coming to you from this little hut here in Norway during one of my photography trips to tell you a little bit of about our upcoming album called A Quiet Waltz, which will be out on 17th of November this year, and I'll just walk you through some of the tracks. So the first track is called My Share of Loneliness, and it's a very good sum of actually every stylistic method that we use throughout the album. So it's like a good slice of everything. So it starts off with a very keyboard-driven main riff, and then it goes into a more simplistic verse with a lot of, let's say, aggressive vocals. And it features the usual very upbeat and very melodic chorus. And also it has a very, let's say, keyboard-wise, a very intense second section. So it's very interesting, and we thought when we wrote the album, like, which song we're going to put at the beginning of the album. And after we were done with the recordings, it's kind of fell into place because this song has a little bit of everything, like I said, even a little acoustic part towards the end for all you guys who like your acoustic guitars. And it's a very good impression of the overall things you have to expect when you listen to the album. So we thought it's the perfect opener. And lyrics wise, it's also like a little bit more on the emotional side, I guess. So maybe some of you can relate to the lyrics. And also maybe a little bit spoilers. There's going to be a keyboard solo in that song on which Leo actually worked quite a while. So it's very detailed work on that one as well. And the second song of the album is called Gaia, Demise, courtesy of Eric Gusmus, also the title. And it's a very short, more straightforward song compared to the others maybe on the album. It's I think like 3.5 minutes only. So by our standards it's rather short. And it consists of a very riff-oriented bass structure. So it has, some might say it has a little bit of genty touch, but we don't even use 7-string guitars, so it's not that genty because it's not so tuned down. And it's a very intense song, so it's very fast-paced. And melody-wise, it's usually very much on the keyboard side. So you get very straightforward riffs with a lot of keyboards and a lot of texture. And it's also one of the aggressive songs. And I guess this is more for the guys who really like to get their heart pumping. So it's a live song, for to say. So we will test this live a couple of times, I guess. And we're really looking forward to see what the audience reaction will be when we play this song. So it's more one of the popish live songs, and I can't wait to get on stage and perform this one for you. And the third song is called Gallows Frame. And Gallows Frame basically is one of the more down-tempo-ish songs, I would say. At least some of the parts, like the verse parts and the intro, are a little bit more laid back, and I guess a little bit more on the proggy side. And then they have a very straightforward chorus, and I'll really advise you to check out the lyrics, because this is one of the choruses that you can actually sing along. And it's maybe there's a little bit of touch of Dark Tranquility in there for those guys of you who actually like that band. That's maybe a little bit inspired from that side. And it also has a very dramatic finish. So we had a short part with more complex drums, not quite drum and bass, but something along those lines, with some very interesting synthy patterns. And then from there it just develops all the way up to the final bridge, which is very epic. So it starts off a little bit more simple with subdued vocals and maybe a little bit slower, and then towards the end it really erupts and has a nice outro as well, where I only scream. Actually, this was one of the parts I really enjoyed in the studio, because I was just screaming for an hour, and afterwards my voice was just wrecked. And I listened to the album a couple of times, and this is also one of my favorite performances, other than I really like the lyrics as well. But it's a very interesting song. I'm not quite sure if we're going to play this live, because at the beginning, like I said, it's very a little bit more down-tempo. But for all of you who like the headphones and sit down and maybe just take a listen to the album and explore all the little details and nitpicky things that we had there in there, that's one of the songs where we really can explore a lot of different audio layers. And I hope you'll have a lot of fun with that one.